Thanks for watching MMA Oddsbreaker, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Frank Trigg. That's Patrik Berisha, getting ready to fight Cage Warriors 56 in London, England. It is his first time fighting in Cage Warriors, and he's fighting Robbie Olivier in a swing bout fight. How have you been taken care of so far by Cage Warriors as you're getting ready to prep the lead for England?
One of the biggest events in or promotions in Europe, and I've been following Cage Wars since a couple of years now, and yeah, it's many shows in Europe and also in the Arabian parts of the world, and it's amazing to fight for them.
Now, your last fight, you had a no contest due to an accidental cut against Martin Berschkamp. Can you explain what happened during that fight?
Well, it was an illegal blow, an illegal elbow on the back of the head, and yeah, that's it actually. And the fight continued, and there was a lot of controversy, but we accepted the no contest since it was not on purpose.
Now, who got hit with the illegal elbow? Did you get hit?
I got hit. I got hit. Yeah.
Now, if it was an illegal elbow, how come the ref didn't just, because it's a legal elbow, he should have been thrown. You got cut. That cut caused the end of the fight. It should have been a disqualification.
Yeah, but there was a lot of controversy, and in the UFC, this cut wouldn't be illegal and stuff like that. But I was just there fighting, and I accept the results. But yeah, he's a nice guy actually. I know that it was not on purpose, but things like that happened, and the official result is a no contest. So I had and I am accepting that. There's nothing I can do against it.
Well, your record right now is 6-3 with one no contest. You've got 4 KOs and 2 submissions and no decisions in your wins. Your losses are 1 KO and 2 submissions in your losses. Are you working on your submission game? Because sometimes you get a submission, sometimes you don't. Is it the one part of your game you're really trying to work on, or are you focusing on something else?
I'm focusing actually on everything, on every aspect, and there are more dimensions than just grappling and striking. And I have to, especially for this fight, I am prepared for everything, and I have to be prepared for everything since he has had also few knockout wins. But I see him as a submission expert, yeah, and I have trained for everything.
Now, explain Robbie Olivier as you see him on tape. You obviously watched some footage on him. You kind of know the kind of opponent that he's going to be. Explain to us what you see.
Well, I see he has been around since forever. He has experience which I do not have, and let's be realistic. And he has over 30 fights, and I have 1/3 of it, so I have 10. It's pretty much 10. And the experience part goes to him.
He's 19. He's 19-9 and 1, or 19-9 1 and 1.
1.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, that's a lot of fights to have. And
yeah,
remember, in Cage Warriors, he's lost his first time he was in Cage Warriors. He's 0-1 in Cage Warriors. In Cage Warriors, you're 0-0, so he has a lot more experience. But he just lost his last fight that he was out there. I don't really see the experience level. Now, you may think of it differently, but the experience level now is a lot different than, say, 15, 16 years ago when I first started fighting. If you had 3 or 4 fights and the guy you were fighting had 1 fight, it was a big difference. But if you've got 10 fights and he's got 35 fights, it really doesn't make that much of a difference anymore. Do you think his experience is really that much more than yours, or is it something that you're going to be able to deal with?
Well, if you look at you're right, but if you look at who he has been fighting, or I mean, these guys, his last loss was against Bellator champion, so he has fought guys who are now top in the UFC and stuff like that, and he has beaten them. So he knows how a fight can be tough, and he has had some pretty tough fights and some pretty tough decisions. But on the other hand, I mean, he has something to lose because he has a reputation already in England. He's known, he's well known, and I'm nobody knows me there, so yet. So I have nothing to lose. I'm from small Switzerland, and Yeah, Swiss fighters are not that known in the MMA community, but I'm there to make a change.
Who are your coaches right now at Swiss Top Team?
We train with a couple of teams, so I just represent Swiss Top Team,
Oh,
which is
okay.
located in Switzerland. But we train with 3 or 4 teams together, two or three teams, and we I have like a grappling coach who is from Swiss Top Team, then a striking coach who is from another team, and the guy who does the whole game plan is also from another team. Yeah, so we
What
mix up things in Switzerland.
what are their names? Your coaches?
My grappling coach is Michael Bebner,
Hmm.
and yeah, no, you guys don't know that. My striking coach is Thomas Latke from. He has had some a couple of like 60 kickboxing and Muay Thai fights. He's been fighting around the whole world
Hmm.
in Japan and Europe and everywhere. Now he has retired since a couple of years, and he has made some of the best kickboxers in Switzerland, and he knows what he's doing. Then we have Marius Meissen from another city, and he does the whole game plan and connects everything. We call him like the Greg Jackson of Switzerland.
How do you work with him if he's in another city? Do you travel to him to get everything together? Is it done via the phone, or how's it done?
Yeah, I travel like 2 or 3 times a week there and to work with these guys.
Now, is all you do just fighting, or do you have another job as well to create income?
Unfortunately, life in Switzerland is very expensive, so I have I work like 100% in the office. I'm a product manager, business administrator, and I do actually fighting just as a hobby. But the plan is actually to get professional very soon, so I'm working on that.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine, Marcus, who's from Switzerland, comes back and forth quite a bit, and he lives in L.A. And to us, L.A. is very expensive, and he's
Hmm.
like Switzerland's way more expensive than that. So
Yeah.
it's yeah. I spent about 10 days over in Switzerland just a little while ago when the UFC was over there for their fight, and I found it to be very expensive. Like just simple day to day stuff was very pricey, but I lucked out because the transfer rate from the U.S. dollar to the krona was very good, so it ended up being
You're,
even. But it's so hard.
so you're confusing
Not
now
krona. I'm
Sweden
sorry.
with Switzerland.
Yeah, not the krona. I've been
Swiss
traveling.
franc.
I've been traveling so much that I keep forgetting the Swiss franc. Yeah, the Swiss franc.
Yeah.
That it's been so much that I found it very kind of. I found Switzerland to be okay, not as bad as Sweden when it came to the exchange rate, but it is very expensive. It's super expensive. And for you, what happens with the money that you make from your fights? Is there do you go, okay, I've got to take this money and pay off? Like for us, a lot of us go, we have to pay college student loans off, or we've got to pay a car payment off, or we got to pay. Do you have is your money allocated every time you fight to a specific thing when you get done?
Yeah, my rent,
Yeah.
my rent and my insurance. Yeah, no, and I have to pay the training and the whole expenses, the car and stuff, which I need to travel around and go to the training. So you don't make money from fighting. You can't make a living from fighting in Switzerland. There's no chance you can do that.
Yeah, it's so difficult in a lot of these smaller countries and what we call emerging countries of MMA. How did you
Hmm.
break into the game? Like what happens? There really aren't that many Swiss fighters in MMA. How did you make the jump in MMA as opposed to going down the route of kickboxing?
I just love the sport. I mean, I'm very dedicated. I live in a very small apartment, so it doesn't cost me much. I do not have much free time, so the whole free time I have or I would have is full with training. So even today in the morning, I had 2 sessions, and now I went home. I took a nap for 2 3 hours, and yeah, that's actually my life. I have no, I can't afford like go to the cinema or stuff. That's not possible.
You really are an emerging fighter in an emerging country for MMA, and I'm actually going to be in London. I'm one of the commentators for the Cage Warriors fight this next fight, so I'll actually be there to see you live. And I'm very We'll talk more when we get there because I want to see more about what goes on and how it is. Because to me, it's. I started fighting in America when it was just starting in America. Like when MMA just started coming out, I was just right at the end of that beginning portion and came through it. And now it's so big. I'm wondering how long it'll take in Switzerland before it's big like it is in America, because there's great fighters in every country. The question is, are they going to gravitate to the sport, and will they make the jump over to big organizations like Cage Warriors and Bellator and the UFC?
That's true. Yeah, I mean, look at Gustafsson.
Hmm.
I mean, he's like, what is Sweden compared to America? And he has now a title fight, and he has some pretty good chances actually.
Yeah, he's an
Uh,
absolutely incredible athlete and
yeah.
fun to watch and does and good and speaks well in front of the camera. He's got the total package, even though he's from a country that most people don't pay attention to. So hopefully for you, you'll be the one coming out of Switzerland.
Thank you very much.
All right, Patrick. Well, we'll see you here in a little bit. Actually, I'll see you in a week and a half or so. Good luck in your fight in Cage Warriors. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Trigg.